too, Stu.
I hate puppies.
This is the episode I was waiting for. This is the good.
It's a good podcast.
I feel threatened.
Christmas or fall is in the air. Seriously.
That is a fact.
Because this is warming my insides.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House, the only podcast dedicated to solving first world problems, hopefully helping you figure out what beer you should be drinking next week or this week, because the beer we had last week was trash. Just trash.
Seriously.
Coconut trash.
It was terrible.
Island trash.
We've got Ray from Spirit Halloween.
How's
and
it going?
Thanks for coming back out.
The Squeezing Lemons podcast. This episode is going to be a little more akin to a Squeezing Lemons than a Spirit Halloween. I got a feeling based on the fact that my man
Liquor's been brought out.
just dropped giant clear ice cubes into a cup, poured some old fashions,
And he's got a
couldn't be more
fancy
excited.
bottle of bourbon. Speak on this bourbon. I've never heard of it.
So it is Midwinter's Night Dram. High West makes it. And
What
So-
else do they make?
a lot. They do a whole lot.
Because that bottle looks familiar.
They're the ones out of Vegas, right?
No, so that's Smoke Wagon is out of
Smoke Wagon.
Vegas. So
Okay.
High West is out of Park City, Utah. So this bottle, they have different kind of iterations.
Ooh, it's good.
They have different kind of iterations. This bottle is actually finished in. Go ahead.
Sherry
Go
cans.
ahead. Keep talking. I'm just reading
It's
something.
finished in sherry. It's one. They have a high rye that they do, and then they finish it up. This is, I think this is Act 9. They call it.
Hard to find?
Very hard to find.
Where'd that come from?
Released once a year from Park City. Generally, Virginia gets maybe a couple hundred bottles. I waited in line pre-COVID and got this.
That's all you've had from that bottle in
You know what I
3
respect
years?
about this
I have two
man?
bottles.
Oh, okay.
You know what I respect about him? That is a collector bourbon. That's the kind of shit
Yeah.
that people put on the shelf and they never touch. And we're drinking it.
Bourbon should be drank.
Every real
I
bourbon
agree.
head I know shares and drinks their bourbon.
That's how I feel,
Yeah.
man. I just got back from Kentucky, and I tell you, the liquor stores
Any
in
bourbon there?
Kentucky. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Did you buy a bunch? Did
Yeah.
you go to the liquor store and
Act
buy a
9.
bunch?
Does it
Yeah,
say Act
because I
9?
walked in and I was like, oh, it's like Angel's Envy is readily available and Eagle Rare.
Yeah.
Don't mind if I do.
Did you get any Buffalo Trace?
Scene 4. Yeah.
No, I have a good amount of Buffalo Trace here, but I was blown away at just how much bourbon they have in Kentucky. Now I knew that, but still,
I was shocked.
but to see it, considering there's a
yeah.
liquor store on every corner, and everyone you walk in.
Yep.
I saw a $3,000 bottle of bourbon just sitting there.
How many did you get?
None.
What? What?
Yeah.
Last week you said your credit card was available.
That's not
My credit card.
that's not the Brendan I know and love.
What was it?
I don't even know.
Was it? There's a Blade and Bow that's about $3,000. They release like one a day.
And Blade and Bow is a gimmick. It's a good one.
Yes.
But they have the keys.
Yeah, it's fantastic. They got the pappy look to them. It's good. So
How's that old fashioned?
This is. I like the spice. I like the smell. This is really good.
this is
really good.
This is the problem. Ray ruined me. The first time he came in, he made me an old fashioned, and it changed my life for the worse and the better.
Now you're an old fashioned guy.
I literally all the time at the end of the night, like if we have a good meal, I used to just get like a scotch or something. Nope. I want an old fashioned. And I try everybody's twist on the old fashioned. And most of the time it's better just an old fashioned. But sometimes you come across this twist where you're like, that was well played.
Just before we recorded, when he was making my drink, I've always assumed that the bourbon was the deciding factor on how the old fashioned would come out. But then he breaks out 17 bottles of bitters, and he's like, "Well,
Did you see this? What he has over here?
Oh.
This guy has a transportable bar.
he's not getting."
He
A
flipped
traveling
it.
bartender.
He
It's a bar
opened
bag.
He opened up the side, and there's 24 different bitters in individual slots throughout this bag.
Well, it only makes
Amazing.
sense that like if you're mixing a drink, like yeah, the main liquor plays a part, but if you take good liquor and you put shit, mixers in it, it's going to be shit. But if you take an average to above average bourbon and then you put high quality ingredients,
But like he's got a simple syrup.
You should taste it. Just taste it.
do you make your own?
Oh yeah, it's the only way you should. have simple syrup. Never buy it. It's fucking sugar.
Literally sugar and water. Like you can handle.
Okay, so
this
that's
fast.
Demerara. It's a 2-to-1 Demerara.
So you're saying it's simple to make?
It is.
It is very, very simple to make. 2-to-1 Demerara.
Pretty good.
Sugar water. Makes it enriches. It actually enriches your drink. You can do anything you want with it. We do it with honey. We'll infuse. Sometimes we'll do fruit kind of simple. So we'll do a raspberry simple, a blueberry simple.
You say we, but you don't work in a bar. Your house is dope.
No, that is true. It's just me. I am an empty nester. However, my buddy Taylor and we started this podcast and we started doing these drinks because
Yeah, I was going to ask who you were
Right.
doing this with. I didn't know if you were doing
Yeah,
it with
so
your
I have a-
girl or...
I have a really, really good friend of mine who we do CrossFit together, and we started talking about cocktails, and we're bourbon guys. And
You work out?
Oh, you knew he was going to mention CrossFit, dude.
sorry,
The only thing worse
He
than
didn't
a
mention
CrossFit
the whole
guy,
last episode.
Yeah, I know, which was good
Yeah.
for him. But the only thing worse than a CrossFit is a CrossFit vegan.
right.
You know what I mean? You're gonna fucking hear about it.
Anyway, so he said, we kept complaining that it's hard to find good cocktails anywhere, and especially if you do find a good cocktail, it's like 17, 18, 20 bucks
Yeah.
for a drink now. We're like, well, why can't we do this at home? So our podcast is about using simple and easy ingredients at home with two simple and easy guys.
This is a perfect podcast for me to listen to.
It is, and I think that a lot of people are afraid to mix. Like you were like, I don't even know how to do an old fashioned. An old fashioned's a really simple drink. Super, super simple.
But how come sometimes it sucks?
Well, it's because you don't have the right ingredient, or you mismeasured, or there's a palette that you get,
Like that old fashioned is phenomenal.
and it's super simple. And I don't normally batch them, and I batch them tonight. I'd like to make my drinks one at a time. I did like 3 at a time, and then poured them in, and then we brought them here.
Is this the same thing Stu's drinking?
No, Stu's got something different.
Look at this motherfucker over here. He just, hey, what are you in a fall mood, summer mood? What are you doing?
Yes, mine does. Mine does. It smells it tastes wonderful, but it's to his point, fall, Christmas. You smell it, you're like, I'm in the mood.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
that
smell
Yeah,
it.
it's
smells
called a spice.
delicious.
It's called a spice old fashioned. It has one other ingredient in there other than a regular old fashioned, and it's allspice dram. I can make.
Allspice dram.
So you can. I've made my allspice dram before. It takes a long time to do it, so it's just buy St. Elizabeth's allspice dram. It's fine.
To your point, it's intimidating because
yes.
because one, it's why I suck at cooking, because there's a gajillion spices and other things you need other than the chicken or the fish or steak.
Sure.
And it's like when I go to the store or to the liquor store even to buy in this stuff, I'm like, which simple syrup do I buy? What X do I buy? And then it's like, okay, well now I bought a $60 bottle of bourbon. I want to mix a good drink,
Right.
but I don't want to fuck it up and be out, $6 of this liquor that I'm
Right.
wasting, like.
Yeah.
And so I'll tell you, like I just pulled out this bottle of bitters. It's called Blur, and James knows about this. You've had him on your podcast a couple of times.
Yeah.
So he has a drink at Chard that has dragonberry vodka in it, and this bitter Blur, and I recreated it for summer.
Nice.
And so if you find a drink, and he has a great menu at Chard,
Yeah.
we liked it. I asked around, what is it? And so I got it. So I'm not going to take any money away from him.
Yeah. You'll still buy the drink
I'll
when
still
you're
buy the
there.
drink when I'm there, but I want to recreate this at home because I enjoyed it. And quite frankly, the girls at my house loved it. So I got a bunch of girls.
Yeah, everything you do, man, it's it's mind blowing when it comes to drinks. That's why I did want to separate the Spirit Halloween from the squeezing.
Yeah. The squeeze of lemons. Yeah.
Because this is such a great concept for someone like you, because you're the best bartender I know that doesn't work at a bar.
Well, I don't want to work at a bar. I have a job. I want to be able to provide. When I go to a party, I want you guys to enjoy. I want you to have a good time. And also, like last night when I was home, I was working. I had a Sazerac, had an old fashioned, and then I decided to do a gin drink as well. So
Nice.
Yeah, why not? Hangovers don't just show up. You gotta earn them.
right. So
I do like a good gin drink.
Oh, who doesn't?
Me.
you don't like gin?
I don't
you go.
like gin at all.
Well, I heard
tastes
Oh,
like
man.
tastes like
25%
Pine-Sol.
of all
Challenge
people.
accepted.
Yeah, 25% of all people don't like gin drinks. That's a fact.
I believe that.
Yeah, that numbers add up.
But you're not but if you were in the midst of having a cocktail, I bet you I could ask you a couple questions.
Well, I'm sure there's a gin cocktail out there that I would like. Because
gin itself
yeah.
is tough by
Yeah.
itself.
And that's how I
there's
had it. Like,
3 or
I
4.
literally had like Tanqueray straight up back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little rough.
Right.
Actually, so I was just on this same pilgrimage. So my
Yeah.
wife and I just went to the Bourbon and Beyond Festival, and we carried our ass all the way to Louisville, Kentucky, 9-hour drive, and
you drove?
She doesn't like bourbon, and I was like, well, this will be the place. Like, this is where we'll find your drink. And sure enough, all of these bourbon companies had their setups where they were mixing up special drinks using their bourbon. But then we found this one thing called strangely, Kroger's Big Bourbon Bar. And I guess Kroger sells a shit ton of liquor in
Kroger sells a ton
Yeah,
in Kentucky.
Like the same Kroger?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Kroger.
Yeah, it was the Kroger logo. And I'm like, that's a grocery
It's
store.
like a
That's-
Kirkland brand.
But
Well,
Well,
so does
there's-
Costco.
It's not state. It's not state run. They can
No,
sell
so
it individually.
When you walk into the Kroger Big Bourbon Bar, they had 24 different distilleries, and each distillery had their own section all along the wall, and then a stage in there where they had like bluegrass and stuff playing all the
Wow.
time. And every one of them could
Step up, Virginia.
They could either pour you their bourbon neat, or they had 2 drinks that they were specially making
For just that
for
facility.
just that. So my wife and I would go in there every day because I was trying to help her find.
Was this like walkable to your hotel?
It was in the festival.
Oh, wow.
And so
Okay.
literally our hotel was directly across the street from the festival. which
Yeah,
turned-
once you got there, you didn't drive anywhere, right?
every day actually we got up and we left.
Oh, okay.
And we went into Louisville and tried different breakfast spots and like would have drinks and like start partying out there.
Oh, which
because-
is nice because normally at these festivals, you're locked up with your truck like
And
in
to get
somewhere and you
out-
can't. Yeah.
to get out would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
But we were at a hotel, so it's like you just pull out and like you're gone. And our hotel was like literally you would walk out of the festival, you'd walk along the concourse, and then the first intersection you came to, we were on the other side of that intersection.
How was your hotel experience at a festival? Better or worse than your
Showering's
glamping?
cool.
Yeah.
Showering's awesome. Like that was really
Well, I would
nice.
imagine a festival, and I haven't done one, but I would think like that morning shower every morning in a hotel is a good way to start your day.
It absolutely is.
If you, especially if you guys were on a bender,
Bender.
like
And a bourbon
epic,
bender is
yeah.
Way different.
Now, fortunately, we were also, you would just go and you'd move to Bud Light. Like you would start
You'd
the
have
day
to.
with the bourbon.
Yes.
You'd move on to Bud Light or seltzers. She'd have seltzers, I'd have Bud Lights. And then we'd go back out into G-Pop because we were in the VIP section. We'd go back out in G-Pop, have a couple.
For those of you who
bourbons.
don't know,
general population.
Did you
It's like it's in prison.
Did one or two of
up
you
his
get
prison
over your skis at all? Because I feel like I would,
There was definitely,
especially day one.
day one was fine because we were like very focused on pacing ourselves, like laser focused. We're not gonna end up over our skis.
And it was 4 days, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I would say Saturday, I got way out over my skis like early. And I like had to go sit down in the VIP tent with the old people. And
Yeah.
I was like, Billy, I really don't know what's going on.
Just start housing waters left and right.
yeah, it got
Pedialyte.
fucking- It got rough. And they only sold water by the cans. And like, but then you could refill. There were refill stations everywhere.
Okay.
But so like, I kept having to like hang a can off of like my belt.
Yeah.
Like I would just go refill. And then I learned very quickly that when you finally get through the line to the refill station, you chug water and then you fill up and then you leave. The first day I didn't do that. And it was like, man, this line's ridiculous. Oh, that's right. I can have 24 ounces of water.
Yeah.
And then people would later in the week, people would take pity on you. They'd be like, here's a bottle. It's much better.
yeah,
It was good. But that big bourbon bar, seriously, 24 different distilleries. And that's apart from all of the different distilleries that had their own tents. Like you would find these like the Basil Haydens of the world, and like they would all have their own tent.
but this is something that
selfie
was still-
stations and
this is something
shit.
that was still set up inside the festival.
Oh yeah, no, the festival was huge.
But this is not a standalone building. This is something that popped up.
oh, it's
Kroger's.
it's a tent, but I mean
Yeah.
that tent, it's big enough to have a stage in it.
Stu's saying there's not a Kroger bourbon bar you can go to down there right now.
No,
This was a festival thing.
yeah, this is a festival thing.
Okay.
It's actually still there this weekend. because they do 2 festivals back to back.
Oh wow.
That right now the Chili Peppers are there and a bunch
wow.
of stuff. It's a rock festival. This was more of like the country and rock festival, and then it gets more like hard rock festival. This is gonna have your Slipknot and your Chili Peppers. This is gonna be a much bigger, like more rockin'.
Yeah.
That big bourbon bar doesn't leave. That is Kentucky. You know, they built that thing right. And that, I mean, every day I would just walk my wife along, and sure enough, she'd be like, okay, I like that bourbon. So to your point of like, I don't like gin, if we could take you to the gin festival,
Yeah.
we could find you the gin, because there were times she'd get something and she'd be like, fuck that.
Right.
Yeah.
That is trash. Why would I want smokiness when it's 90 degrees outside? Forget that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong.
Was that a free sample?
Dude, nothing in that place was free.
Because if she's going, screw that.
The most brilliant thing they ever did. You have
Stu
to,
and Brendan are both doing a throwing motion over their shoulder. Like,
Sorry.
the best thing they ever did is they give you the wristband to get in, right? And
Yeah.
It's got a little RFID on there.
Oh my God.
And they were like, you should link a credit card to it.
it makes everything easy.
Because then you don't have to think. You just go.
It's a cruise ship.
It's
We're
a
not
cruise
going
ship,
anywhere.
It's Disney. It's all that. And so literally,
And really, like, that's an evil. There's 2 sides of that coin, because it's an evil genius move, but it is better and safer. Like, you don't want to carry your credit card around at a place like that.
Yeah, but when somebody gets over their skis and they just scan and fucking drink
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
drink after drink,
Yeah, then
that
they
could be
just grab
Yeah,
your
but you
wrist.
could-
Hey, buy me a beer.
right.
But you can do that with a credit card too. But
That
I
is
mean,
true.
I wouldn't want to lose my credit card. Is the point?
no, and that
or
helps.
Or carry $200 in cash and.
Yeah, you literally didn't have to. There were beer vendors walking around with buckets of like wagons of beer, and those guys would take cash. So if you didn't set up, you could you still get away with cash, but you had to find those guys. Whereas there's beer everywhere, beer and whiskey in every orifice around this fucking place.
This is my super bracelet.
Yeah, and you just
So you got no free drinks with your VIP? Like, it's still, you had to buy every drink you had there?
oh, dude, I bought so many drinks,
I can only imagine how expensive each day was then.
exorbitant.
Yeah.
So what's the VIP? Food? Location?
So VIP at this festival was
It's the price.
no. This was actually this was the greatest VIP I'd ever set up. I never sprung for VIP, and I'm so glad I did. The way this festival was set up, I've never seen. They had the 2 main stages literally right next to each other, like right next to each other, right? So when a band goes off, 5 minutes later, the other band comes on. And
They're breaking down and setting up the opposite stage.
During the other show.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And so all the speakers, like in between the 2 stages, you have 2 speaker towers that are blasting out. And then on either end, you have speaker towers. And then the bass just runs the whole distance. Boom, 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 boom. And that fires out. And then at the end of the first lawn section, there's 4 more speaker towers just firing back into the rest. So the whole place is blanketed in sound. But the way they had it set up was the VIP section was the first like 75 yards, 100 yards from the stage back. Then there was a fence, a little bit of a gap, and then another fence. So Gen Pop could never get any closer than 10 yards shy of the worst spot in VIP.
Yeah.
All across the main stages.
And they were packed in, where VIP you could probably walk freely.
Saturday night was a nightmare. It was the largest night they'd ever had at Bourbon and Beyond. That was the night Pearl Jam was there.
Oh,
And-
Pearl Jam?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the one night Troy would have
Like
gone.
the way
Yeah. There, you're at a Pearl Jam concert.
Yeah, dude.
It's fine with me.
Don't call me an honor. He started with "Don't Call Me an Honor."
Did he?
Yeah, that's how they came out.
Lead off with your best song.
Don't give me this shit. Hey, fuck it. That whole. Don't
That's
get
their
me
best
started.
song.
It is not their best song.
You're right. Hunger's better. Hunger Strike.
Which honestly, I thought they could have done. Because Greta Van Fleet was right before them. And Greta Van Fleet sounds like Robert Plant. This little dude came out. If this dude had a sock in his tights, I wouldn't be shocked, but I would have gone for a bigger sock. Like his tights were so tight that you saw his little dong perfectly. And when you put that up on a giant screen,
Yeah.
It was even smaller.
it just
Brendan's not there for the bourbon and
Not a
music.
good look.
He's just like, look at the fashion.
Like everyone was joking. They're like, that guy stuffs. And I'm thinking, nah, if you stuff, you go with the
You
far
go
bigger
big.
side.
You go bigger.
But that dude could wail. So I thought maybe Hunger Strike could happen because that lead singer from Greta Van Fleet, he's like Robert Plant. All of his notes, like right up there. I was like, that's perfect. That's the closest to Chris Cornell we can get. But no, it did not happen. But the way that VIP was set up was phenomenal because I was able to get, like for Pearl Jam, I was like maybe a little further than the width of the Pallet House.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And that was like,
25 feet.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like I'm like right there and I'm seeing all these bands up that close. And God forbid someone really good pops off in the middle of the day.
Right.
Because I could just walk right up to the stage and like Gen Pop is just packed out for just miles, you know, just crowds. VIP there is the most worth it thing I've ever seen. And you've got tents like all along the side that have like fans going and seating, like couches and all kinds of
Nice.
stuff. And they have a whole bar thing that runs the entire length of those tents. So you never waited for a beer or a bourbon drink or a seltzer or a wine. Like it was all there. And then they had their own food trucks in VIP, whole food truck section. And then the whole line at the festival was food all the way down one end, all the way around. It was insane.
And then all the, like, you name it, all the bourbon vendors were there.
The only bourbon that I could not get was Pappy.
Well, that's not unusual.
Pappy had a giant tent and they're selling like merchandise. And then they had a second tent.
Oh,
in
because they've gotten
VIP.
too big for their britches now.
They
They're
had a second tent in VIP that only sold Pappy aged cigars.
Oh, that's a new thing. I mean, it's not new, but it's starting to be one of those things that people want.
Dude, the Flying Pig Pappy cigar is fantastic.
All right, so do you have a distillery now that you would want to buy most of your bourbon from? Like if you were like, I know there's like the big ones like Turkey, Buffalo Trace.
No, I have some ones though that I don't want.
Oh, you don't want?
I actually
Should we talk about that?
Yeah, so the guys from Kings of Leon just started a new one. It's like called Kimiachi.
Yeah.
And they took one of the biggest names in the bourbon game, and then their family joined forces with them, and they created this bourbon. It's $150 a bottle for the 8-year and $250 for the 12. And I went in there, and they were charging $33 a drink, which the most expensive bourbon drinks outside of that are $15. And I'm talking like high-end bourbons, like Jefferson's Ocean was selling $15 mixed drinks with Jefferson's Ocean.
nice.
I just got a bottle of that.
Yeah, that's good stuff. But like, so they're like $33, but it was so fucking hot this one day. And they had like the misters and the fans going, there's no one in there. And I was like, hey, I can sit down. I can have a drink. I was like, I'll get it. And then I was like, you know what? Put it on the rocks. Like, I don't even want your mixed drink. I want to taste. What are you doing that's worth $150? No joke. The Four Roses single barrel that won our bourbon contest.
It's like $59.99.
Yeah. And Four Roses, people love that shit. I didn't realize how many people were like, no, this is the best bourbon out there. Like, I kept being validated for our victory the whole time we were there.
Sure.
People kept talking about it. It was
Well, Four Roses makes a really, really good product, and across the board. You know, I'm a huge Wild Turkey fan.
don't they make Four Roses?
So I don't know. Do they?
I think they do.
Right. So I enjoy all the Russell's brands and the Wild Turkey brand. The Four Roses, you know, it's a little light for me. I enjoy a bourbon that's like 110, between 110 and 115, even 120.
Well, I should let you know some information that I learned from a very drunk chick.
Oh, Lord.
I've learned a lot from a drunk chick.
I met so many drunk chicks. Yes. Yeah, hands like leather.
It says Kirin Brewing Company out of Japan.
Yeah. So Kieran just Japan just
doesn't
bought
narrow it at all.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I walk into that big bourbon,
Which is a
tent,
great beer, brother.
and I'm checking
Oh,
out
yes.
this guy Jack Blunt, and he's like,
Kieran Ichiban.
he's playing bluegrass, and he's killing it in the middle of the day. And my wife's like, look, my feet are killing me. I'm just gonna sit down over here. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna leave you for a minute, go catch some bluegrass, and grab another bourbon drink. I want something with mint. And just shop for mint. Like, got myself a drink. I'm hanging out.
Bourbon smash.
And I come staggering back over because I'm like, well, she's been by herself. I feel bad. And I come over and I hear her just laughing in the distance. And I'm like, what the fuck? And there's this drunk chick just laying next to her, just pontificating about Lord knows what. And she's like, I go over, I start talking to them, and she's like, oh, you like Four Roses? And she's like, you need to look on the back. There's 4 different batches they do every time that's in the single barrel. And she started walking me through them like she knew everything about it. Apparently that single barrel changes all the time. And if you don't know the 4 numbers, you don't know what kind of flavor profile you're going to get.
Yeah, that
so
makes
they
sense.
have a more bold flavor profile, and then they have a mellow. So everybody you met knew far too much.
Way too much.
Yeah, it was wild. So apparently,
so you didn't find anything that you really, really liked other than the Four Roses? There have some smaller distilleries out there that are great.
I mean, like Rabbit Hole.
Oh, Rabbit Hole's so good.
Yeah, like Rabbit Hole threw me for a loop. I'd never had that. I was like, okay, this is fucking excellent.
Right.
Right.
You're also asking a question that runs into memory issues.
Yes.
Well, so many memories. So many memories.
Well, I would assume too, if you're drinking different bourbons all day, like it's easy to get them crossed up.
You can, but I remember Rabbit Hole like jumped out at me. And I have a newfound respect for Basil Hayden. I had kind of like thrown away Basil Hayden, and I was reminded that is the best mixing bourbon you can
It is
get,
great.
period.
And they have a new one that you can get in Virginia. It's not new, but it's called Smoked. And that smoked Basil Hayden that they have here that you can get,
yeah.
excellent. You can make that. I know you don't like Manhattan. I think you're not a Manhattan fan.
Fucking trash.
Right. However, it makes a really good old fashioned. So,
Damn.
Yeah.
I have newfound respect for Basil Hayden. Like they turned me around on them. I will be buying more Basil Hayden, especially because the wife loved it.
Yeah, and it's like 80 proof, so it's
Easy.
and it's easy to drink.
Well, I think that's why she liked it. All the
Correct.
mixed drinks
Sure.
that they made, she
Yeah.
was like, these are all really, really tasty. I was like, okay, you're a basil girl. I'm going to buy more basil.
Yeah, my girlfriend has turned into a whiskey and bourbon drinker as well, and she loves a whiskey sour, and there are a couple other, like cognac is new now for us, and so we started drinking a lot of cognac drinks, and that's close to the flavor profile. But
Interesting.
if you do a good mixed drink, sweet with a little citrus, girls love it.
Yeah.
Part of our podcast, I don't know, like.
You
Part of
should.
our
Sell
part
the
of our
podcast.
podcast.
Sell, promote.
So part of our podcast is that when Taylor and I we make 6 drinks a night, and so we try each of.
God,
Good Lord.
that's a lot of drinking.
Well, we actually make 8 because we have sippers, so we call them sippers. So we pre-make a drink for us to sip during the podcast, and then we try 6 different drinks. What generally they are in the same flavor. So we'll do 6 different old fashions made 6 different ways, or 6 different drinks with lemon or green chartreuse or whatever it is.
But you're not drinking 6 full Manhattan.
No, we are sipping them, we're tasting them, and we go from there. So part of our part of our scoring. So we do the same thing you guys do with your beers.
Thanks for listening, guys.
We score them and we talk about drinkability, cost of the, and then we say, can you get laid if you drink this?
That's an interesting
And that's
That's
important.
a good twist.
That's important. Would you like the spiced old fashioned?
Well, let's not skip over the let's get laid thing. I want to know like what makes a good like.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
So this is our deli. You're,
Right. So
Can you get laid?
We do. So can you get laid with this? Obviously,
meaning like, do girls like it or do girls?
I mean, or
like
your partner might like it.
CYGL.
Right. So
The
what is it?
Seagull?
So
The
what is it going to
Seagull?
look like? So is it
Seagull.
good to look at? And how does it taste? And how does it go down? Will it go down really fast? Can it hide the roofie? I'm just kidding. So
Boy. Oh, I mean,
there you go. No, it is like, how does it look? How does it go down? And will
Objection! Hearsay!
that's the one I should have.
gonna go down.
can't. But like when you're drinking those kind of drinks, it's like
2
again,
in, 3 in? You're getting
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you could also overserve yourself.
ruin it.
Yeah.
you can ruin it.
Yeah, well, we're not going to fuck tonight.
Yeah.
On account of the whiskey dick.
Yeah. Yeah. It's called whiskey dick.
Yeah, for a reason.
For a reason.
Not called White Claw dick.
Oh, I got a new thing that I've learned.
Hang on. Let him finish.
Okay.
So anyway, so part of the getting laid part. I mean, I have a girlfriend. He has a wife.
Getting laid.
It's about like, could you, if you serve this, have an opportunity to have sex? And I think that most of the drinks that we do, we're like, there's a Wisconsin old fashioned. It's terrible.
Yeah, I knew that as soon as you said
like brandy. It's got like brandy in it, and like they put soda water in it. It's awful, right? You're not getting laid if you're gonna give that to me.
Yeah.
But if you do like,
But if you're in
like
Wisconsin,
the hibiscus sour that has like rose petals on it and everything with it, it's nice.
Wisconsin fucked me at the festival.
Really?
So you know, there was a band I was dying to see. I wanted to go see Camp. That was the band that I was like the most amped to see, because I've seen Pearl Jam, I've seen Kings of Leon, I've seen all these, I've seen a lot of these bands.
You hadn't seen most of the bands there, though.
Oh, clearly.
I mean, there were a bunch of no-name bands there.
Yeah. When you have like 15, 20 bands in a day.
was it at 10:30? Like music starts at 10:30.
Music would usually kick off at noon.
Oh, noon. Okay.
And it would end by midnight.
Midnight.
So, I mean, but it's fucking all day.
And it's hour sets usually.
1 hour set across the board.
So you're looking at 12 bands a day.
Thank you. Just got myself a fall old fashioned. Fucking love it here. This place is so cool. I'm coming back next week. You guys will have me. But so Camp was the band that I was like most excited to see, because they've kind of like been my whole summer. I've been listening to Camp.
Okay.
A lot. So I wanted to see him. This dude comes walking out in a fucking Green Bay Packers tank top. Now
The guy from Camp,
the lead singer.
not some random guy.
No. The lead singer comes out in the, what is this?
This is that high end stuff.
Okay, excuse me for one moment.
It smells smooth. I didn't take a sip yet, but
Oh shit. Smoky.
It's good, isn't it?
It's very good. It doesn't burn as much as it should.
What's the proof of it on
80. It's 80 proof.
It's a light proof.
Ooh. That's really good.
Tasty.
Sorry.
Even 2 in, like the second sip is always the best.
No, that's why I had to have two.
Right. When you go
that
down one
is
time, you got to
amazing.
go down twice.
So the caramel's understated in that, and it's like it's smoky, but it's not. And it's almost got a spice that's not heat.
It's
That's
the rye. It's the high rye on there.
That's good. That's that.
The midwinter's drink.
There it is. The Midwinter's Dram. That's a tasty
Dram.
I love the back of the label though, because Midsummer's Night's Dream, which is what they're quoting from William Shakespeare on all their bottles, which is why they're labeled, Act 9, Scene 4, whatever.
Okay.
It says, "Are you sure that we are awake? It seems to me that yet we sleep, we dream." So this whole thing is based off William Shakespeare's, and they're following the.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
It's getting crazy.
I'm like, I just tasted this old fashioned. It was full of allspice, and then I was drinking that, and
No, the whole label's got the entire sonnet on the back of it.
You're feeling good.
I'm on fire right now. I feel like I'm back at the festival.
Yeah.
The only thing that could ruin this is Camp.
So, because you're a Chicago guy, you have to hate all things Wisconsin.
And they were playing the Packers that night.
Yeah.
They came out on Sunday, and he's wearing his Packers shit, and he walks out.
The Bears showed those Packers, though.
Yeah, that they're better. The Packers. So this dude comes out, right? And like the whole thing about that band is that dude's voice. Like that is what makes that band. And he comes out and like they hit the first notes and the bass, and I'm right up on the bass, like because it's like in the middle of the day and I can so I'm right up front. That bass hits, it's like boom. I thought I was having a heart attack when that bass hit. I was like, oh fuck, it really hurts. Like so much bass.
That's something I didn't realize. Like I've gone to 3 front row concerts in the last year.
Yeah,
The
sound-
bass is always right there.
Yeah.
In front row. And the last one I went to, I just had a regular Michelob Ultra in a aluminum
It'll
can,
foam
and
over.
it foamed right over.
Yeah,
I was
no.
like, what?
Oh,
That's how
Yeah.
bad.
I was like, it hurt.
So they came out and their bass
great.
was like over the top, and he starts singing, and I'm like, I can't hear him
Yeah.
like at all.
You're
And
too close.
But I'd been to so many shows the whole week, like up close. Like yeah, sometimes the bass hits you, but like you can still hear it. The sound guy didn't have his vocals turned up. So this dude's like 3 notes in, and he's like doing the like turn my
Yeah.
mic up. He's
Yeah.
pointing his mic. He's like turn it up, and they turned it up a little. They never got it.
Never
right.
got the sound figured out.
So through the whole set, I can't hear the guy. And the guy next to me, he was like, who are you most excited to see? I was like, we're standing here, buddy. Like,
Yeah.
this is it. And like, we're talking. And then he's like, man, I can't really hear him. I'm like, I know. I'm screaming like vocals, like right up front. I'm like, you gotta fix this, man. Like you're part of why I'm here. They never got it right. So it was like the most disappointing.
Did you try backing up?
Never occurred to me. I got to be honest. It really didn't occur to me. That sucks. I should have.
Yeah, you were probably too close. I mean,
But
I
it
don't
was so
disagree
low.
with you. Like the vocals could have been, the
But
sound
then-
could have been off.
So after
but,
the second song, they turned the bass down. And they couldn't get the vocals right. And it was so low at that point that I could hear every
Everything.
asshole behind me bitching
Oh, wow.
about how you can't hear the vocals.
Yep.
I'm like, this is heartbreaking.
Because usually that string of basses that they have on either side of the stage, there's like every like fourth bass, there's a small vocal speaker sitting on
Yeah,
top of it.
but seriously, the vocals were fucked. It ruined it. And then when it was all over, that dude next to me turned to me and he's like, Brendan, so glad we got to catch another show together. And I'm like, I have no idea who this guy is.
oh, he remembered your name?
He had my name.
And you'd already met him?
Apparently, we had partied our asses off at another
Nice.
show. And he was
That
like,
is so
he
awesome.
was like, I'm so glad we got to spend another show together. Sorry, the sound wasn't great, but when he went back to the drum set, you could hear him clear. I was like, I know. And he was like, good times, man. Hope I see you again. I'm like, I don't know who this guy is.
You're like, yeah, friend. We'll catch up again.
Well, because there were so many people you would meet. Like,
yeah, I guess you
Right,
cross
right,
paths
right.
with the same people
He's
over
really,
and over.
He's really
Yeah.
like, I love your wristband. You've been buying drinks for me all night long.
There were so many people. There was one guy, like, I was standing in line and, like, this one dude was just bitching about how long it was taking. And I was like, dude, you are having the best time of your life and you're wasting it bitching.
Yeah.
I was like, stop bitching, brother. I was like, let's high five. And, like, I'm getting him all psyched. Dude behind me is like, man, your energy is the shit. He's like, can I buy your drinks? I was like, I would
Yes.
allow that if I wasn't buying 6 drinks for my wife and I right now. He goes, oh man, that's really expensive.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you're good. And then I was like, hey, do you mind not popping those so I can like put them in my pockets? She was like, we're not allowed to do that. And then she just handed me all unpopped. I was like, hell yeah, I put them in my pockets. And I was like, see, buddy, the
I don't
karma worked out.
understand that. Like, I don't understand that at all. Like, what?
6 drinks at a time, though. That's ball. I mean, like, it's balling.
It was, we were going to Pearl Jam.
Because usually
I needed multiple
usually
drinks.
2 drinks per person.
Yeah, but what are you going to do by not opening them?
you can get?
Oh, I know. Like, what exactly am
Yeah,
I doing?
what's the end game?
There's 100,000 people here. I'm not going anywhere.
Dude, I had it happen at the Jackson Brown concert at the Altria Theater. I bought a water and they cracked it. And I was like, or no, they wouldn't even give me, they took
top.
the top.
They
Yeah.
took the top.
And I was like, I'm going to sit this down next to my seat. I'm going to drink this throughout the concert. Like, I don't want to tip this thing over and make a mess.
Yeah.
Like, what's my end game with the top?
Yeah, I don't understand.
What could I
it.
possibly do with the top that I couldn't
What
do with it?
nefarious action am I
Yeah.
up to? But
Well, you're going to empty out all the water. You're going to put all the ingredients in, close it up.
I don't have the ingredients. You already checked
And
me
then
at the door.
boom.
Yeah.
That's what they're thinking.
It was crazy. Oh, so here's how I know I'm old. This sucked.
You looked in the mirror.
Nice. I'll give you a fist bump. Not even.
Happy birthday, Troy. That was awesome.
Actually, no, Brendan. Let's break the fourth wall. Brendan, I saw the pictures. Brendan had a shirt on about 20% of the time because Brendan's in probably
Dude, I was
not
shredded.
the best shape of his life, but the best shape he's been in a long time, and he was quite happy to show off the hard work.
Dude, we had done a 3-day cleanse going into that.
Yeah.
Ooh, man, I'm telling you, I didn't eat. I'm driving to Kentucky, starving. We're literally. I'm eating my little, like, I get 2 carrot bites and some hummus. I was like, fuck me.
Yeah.
And then we woke up Thursday morning and I was like, I'm going to breakfast. Went to breakfast. Finally had a coffee for the first time. Had some breakfast and then went right.
Why were
into
you
the
not
show.
drinking coffee?
It was all part of the cleanse. I wasn't doing nicotine. I wasn't doing
Was it
alcohol.
a 3-day or a 5-day?
3-day. Come on, now I'm not a fucking masochist. Right. So, but like I did cut like 5 additional pounds right before
Did you tell your wife how many pounds you cut?
700 times.
That's dumb.
Dude, no, she was doing the cleanse with me.
But was she cut? Did she cut that many?
No, she doesn't have that many to cut.
Yeah, she's 7
That's true,
pounds.
right? Like she. Okay.
She's cleansed
Like I'm
daily.
down. I'm down like 30 pounds from like months ago. So like but like I've been working towards that goal.
Yeah.
Like I was like, if I'm going to compete with 20-year-olds as an
gotta-
old ass man, I got to be more shredded than these assholes. And I put in the time, I put in the work, so I wasn't ashamed to like take it off. I was like, I will fucking rock it.
Did your
And-
clippers hold up?
my what?
Your clippers.
Oh, dude, I shaved it all.
I know you
I
did.
shaved it.
I saw
all.
the pictures.
Dude, I shaved everything.
Yeah.
And
FYI,
as soon
they're
as
talking
we-
about him without a shirt, not just naked.
Yeah, no, and as soon as I got to the hotel, I didn't even use clippers. I went real blade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going fucking bear. I'm a child. And a fucking old man's face, but I was shredded. And I figured if you pull the cowboy hat down low,
Yeah.
they don't know.
They don't know.
Sunglasses.
They don't know.
They
Yeah,
don't know.
giant sunglasses, the
Yep.
biggest aviator sunglasses I could find, big cowboy hat, and just walk through that VIP. and
So
they're
how
like-
many times you get hit on?
Actually, a fairly good amount, but those guys and I didn't hook up.
Exactly.
No, you don't understand
right.
how many guys
I was
going
gonna say, I bet you talked to more guys than you did
that's
girls.
that's what happens, right? Like
Yeah.
you start shaving, you put a oh man, they're like, hey, what's up?
It wasn't even those. No, these
You were
dudes.
working out, bruh?
There were so many dudes that like I'd be hanging out with because you meet so many people. And, like,
Yeah.
we're just talking, and they'd be like,
Making out with? Oh, hanging out with.
Hanging out with.
Oh, okay.
and they'd be like, I'm gonna take my shirt off too. Fuck this. They're like, I'm not shredded, but fuck yeah. And then they take the shirt off, and that would be like, it was awkward. It was awkward. But
And all the ladies there are in the dad bods, and Brendan's shredded.
But yeah, right.
it worked just fine, and I gained.
Have a piece of cake. Why
I
not?
gained
Yeah.
a fucking ton of weight.
Right.
Because I was eating turkey legs and all kinds of shit. I was like, hell yeah. Island noodles, just drinking everything. But so day 2,
This is Friday.
this is Friday. It's about 10 o'clock at night. I've been on a cleanse. I've been doing everything. So I've been shitting at a tremendous rate.
Right.
Monday, Tuesday,
Yeah.
Wednesday. Made for an awkward road trip.
Ray's got a spot. Ray's got a spot for you.
So
Got to
Right.
pull over
I
again,
do have
honey.
a spot.
I've put my body through hell, and like I'm feeling good about it.
Your poor body like gets its first meal on Thursday, and then it just there's
Shuts
there's
fucking
bourbon
down.
coming right behind
Right.
it, and then
Yeah.
4 more days of that. Your body's like, "What are you doing to
Yeah,
me?"
it went from extreme to extreme.
Yeah.
for sure. And those extremes presented themselves in the most fucked up way. Friday night around 10 o'clock, I'm standing there and I'm dancing, and I've done literally nothing outside of party for 48 hours, and I'm dancing, I'm hanging out, and I blow out an O-ring like I've never blown out. I didn't fart, I didn't push, I didn't do anything. It just flopped out.
Oh God,
Yeah, like anal sex in a retirement home.
are you? So you're at a like in a porta potty? Like did
No, I'm just literally standing there, and I was like, it just went, and I was like, my ass.
so you sharded?
No, I hemorrhoided. I blew
Oh.
out. I blew out an O-ring like I couldn't believe.
Wow.
I was like, what is happening?
Wow.
All of a sudden, like I can't dance, I can't walk, everything hurts. I can't sit down. I can't do.
How does that happen?
I have because if you take your body from extreme
Yeah,
to
yeah,
extreme,
Oh yeah.
my body was like,
What
we
he's
can't,
not- what
we
he's
can't
Auto
do
reject.
this.
Auto
What he's
reject.
not- what he's not-
not only your whole body, but specifically
Your sphincter.
Well, your whole innards, like literally
Yeah.
from your teeth to your ass.
Yeah,
like,
it was all like going
But
through.
what Brendan's not saying is that 5 minutes later, he's like, oh, that was amazing. I need to do this again.
No, it literally, I didn't fart. I didn't poop. There was nothing that happened. All of a sudden, I was just standing there, and then I was like, everything hurts.
that is weird.
So then the concert ends. Kings of Leon ends. Kings of Leon blew out my O-ring.
Oh, I.
Maybe it was the bass.
Yeah, it was too much
pushed
bass.
right
I was
through
too
you.
close.
Yeah.
It was too close. So I fucking hobble back to the place, get some fucking sleep. We wake up the next morning, and I was like, we need to go to a fucking pharmacy. Stat. Out Saturday morning. Dude, the next few days I got my little mocket, because you can't have a MERS. MERS is too big. It's
Right.
either got to be clear, but I have this little like mocket. It's like 4x6 pocket I hang over my, but you can keep enough stuff in there. And I was like, well, we don't need that much suntan lotion, because here's the preparation H cream.
Oh wow.
And I'd have to like roll up in the fucking like
Porta potty, rub it down.
Yeah, like
Oh.
I had to like ladle that shit in. Like I was blown out. I'm blown out right now. I'm in pain. It's horrible.
That sounds awful.
But this is why you can't be my age and go to a music festival and
Yeah.
do this. And you sure
Cleanse
as hell-
3 days
do a
before,
3-day
right?
and
cleanse.
you can't do a 3-day cleanse
All I'm
going
picturing
in.
is Brendan front row with a donut. Like, sit down.
Dude, it was
So you're
fucking-
saying you
But I'm
shouldn't-
fucking shredded.
Oh, dude, I was ripped. I was ripped.
This is not a donut. This is my beer holder.
But my body tried to shed 1 extra pound, and it still hung on.
So you're saying you shouldn't starve yourself and eat nothing but hummus and carrots for 3 days, and then follow that up with a 4-day epic fucking bender.
Bourbon.
You can for one day.
Okay.
Because the second day,
You
the
can actually
O-ring
do
goes.
a day and a half.
Yeah.
But you will.
It's like the
Hour
Challenger
48,
explosion.
Yeah, it was the Challenger disaster. That O-ring.
You pushed
blew
it. You
out.
pushed it too far
Pushed it way too far.
without pushing.
Literally wasn't even doing. Like, I understand if you're taking a massive and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I blew something out. I was like, yeah, your sex is on fire. Pop.
That is so weird.
It was heartbreaking, man. Heartbreaking.
I feel for you.
And so for the next 2 days, I'm literally dragging in and I have to go in these porta potties, which thank God they're VIP.
Oh, they had good ones, right?
Oh yeah, they have the trailers.
Yeah, with the
So like you get to like roll up in your own.
they're not really porta potties.
They're,
Like they're legit.
trailer- Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Air conditioning.
That's a
which
bathroom.
is great because you can wash your hands, which you
Yeah.
need if you're slathering preparation H into your butthole.
Yeah.
You know, you
Because
need to
when
be
you're-
able to.
when you're shaking hands with your
New friends. Yeah.
Yeah, hey buddy, I just rubbed my asshole with preparation H.
Do I smell mint?
Yeah. You do.
Yeah.
It's actually witch hazel. If you want to get fucking specific.
No. It's just my new old fashioned.
It was rough, and I'm still paying for it.
Oh,
But that's the price of beauty. That's how you get shredded, man. You know,
you might want to skip the over the counter meds and go see a doctor.
Oh, hell no. I don't have time for that. I will literally go in from this podcast and I'll do wipes and little application. It's a fucking nightmare. But at least it's no longer, it was like a knuckle and now it's just like a bubble. So we're really making
Oh my
progress.
Yeah. It's not like it's going to blow.
Yeah. Oh,
But
don't
it
worry.
was it leaking? Oh,
No. I didn't get any leakage.
No,
Did you get,
that's
can
a
you
side
get
effect from-
leakage?
that's a
Fuck
side-
yeah. It's a big pus thing of blood.
Oh, no, I didn't get any of that. No, I don't think this is, I think this is literally just intestine.
That's a side,
Like it just,
right.
Right.
That's a side effect of his other medication.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, no. That's what it was. I never know where the buttons are. That was me. I was like, Kings of Leon. Yeah!
Oh my god.
It wasn't good. And they even had, you know, how we were talking about like IV tents?
Yeah.
They had IV tents set up there. Like people were getting IVs and shit. And I'm like, where is the hemorrhoid tent?
Brendan's like, I want to get an IV, and then he's sitting in there, and he's like, just not for nothing.
If I turn over,
I'm asking for a friend.
But say someone blew out. an
Let's just say someone was dancing to Your Sex Is on Fire really hard, and their asshole fell out. Let's just say that.
do you have a tent for that?
My sex was on fire. My sex is still on fire. It was.
The wipe should help put that fire out.
Man,
It was a lot more than I intended to deal with.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I didn't. It never occurred to me that my ramifications from my actions
Okay, what,
It never does. That's how
never occurred to me.
That's how good stories are made.
nobody told me it would end this way.
now I saw all your wife's pictures and posts about all the bands that sounded like just made up names. There had to have been some bad ones there.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there were a couple bad ones. There was one. Saint Vincent is a name that like.
I've heard of them.
Wait, is Saint Vincent? It's hard to keep track.
Yeah.
It was Saint Vincent or this other band that I'm now forgetting their name. But this guy came out and like he kept like rolling around underneath the stuff on the stage, and like I was like, "You're not that good."
Like rolling?
Yeah, like he would roll around underneath like where the drum kit was, like it was elevated. He'd like roll around underneath.
Just
their
being
thing.
weird?
But Saint Vincent was a chick, so that's not. Who was that guy? Saint Paul and the Broken Bones. I'll tell you who's nasty. Shaky Graves.
I've heard good things about Shaky
Twisted my
Graves.
cat back. I had no idea he was that good.
Yeah.
And L King. If Alexis is out there, because I know she's a listener, same attitude as Alexis. Like this girl comes out and she's like, I'm a hard smoking, drinking woman, and starts like throwing down, right? She like melted my face. Like
is she country?
no. So she plays that X's and O's song.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then she
Yeah,
has
that's a good song.
She has another popular song that I'm drawing a blank on right now. But like every song she
They
did,
haunt her.
every song she did was better than the last. And I have just recently found out that it's Rob Schneider's daughter,
Oh, wow.
which makes even so much more sense because
Seriously,
He's a
he has a
badass.
daughter.
yeah. And he's such a just kind of out there.
Tanner L. Schneider, formerly known as L. King.
She was fantastic. This was like a girl power concert. Like I was blown away.
Yeah, because like
they had
wasn't
Alanis
Sheryl Crow
Morissette.
there or
There's Alanis
something?
Morissette.
Yeah, that's who it was.
And she came out and tore
She's
the roof
badass.
off the place. Brandy Carlisle.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I know she's good.
Holy shit! I didn't know.
Blast from the past.
No. So Brandy Carlisle is the name of an older, but she's actually a new pop star.
Come on.
Yeah, there's a new pop
There's
star called
another
Brandy
Brandy Carlisle?
Yes, and she slayed. Like she came out there, and then after she's rocking her ass off and playing all this shit, she stops for a little bit and she like sings "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" to put her daughter to bed because she's like back there like watching a feed, and then gets back to rocking, and she's like, "I can't believe you guys let me do that. Thank you guys so much." Whole place goes nuts. I was like, "This is
That's awesome.
crazy." Like,
Nice.
some of the stuff I saw, like for Pearl Jam to end on Purple Rain, like what is that?
Yeah,
You know-
don't do their music. That's a good call.
Do you know who
I know
all-
you would say that,
Yeah.
but
Right.
but like my wife's favorite song, like as we were pulling into Louisville, I was playing Purple Rain because that's her jam, like getting her hype, and she's like Purple Rain.
You know who also
and then all of a
does
sudden
Purple Rain
Pearl
on
Jam
his-
drops Purple Rain.
on his encore is Darius Rucker.
Yeah, which adds up because Darius Rucker's the baddest man in the world. It was a hell of a show. Like honestly, it
Troy,
was.
do you like Darius Rucker? Who do
Yeah.
you know, Blowfish?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's got way more talent than Pearl Jam. And I'm not talking just Eddie Vedder, the whole band.
You know, you frustrate me to no end with this.
I'm just speaking the truth.
You're speaking.
He's a better singer-songwriter.
He lives in the country universe, so he probably doesn't even write all this shit.
He did pop for that's what he's known for before country. He can mix genres. That's how good he is.
That's good.
I just said Pearl Jam closed with Purple Rain.
Yeah,
That's mixing genres.
that's not. That's
Eddie
him
Vedder's
covering the
released an
song.
entire ukulele album. That's a genre no one even does.
Are you helping his cause?
No, I'm demonstrating that he's diverse.
No one knows that.
I just told you that.
I know, but people know who Darius Rucker is and know that he's done pop and country.
Yes.
They know he was in Hootie and the Blowfish, and they know he's a huge country star now.
Okay, you're literally talking
And you
about.
can listen to his
I think-
music and understand what he's saying.
I think that right. I think that Eddie Vedder. I think that the Pearl Jam era created such a great like base for that grunge.
Continue, Ray.
Right. So I think that those guys created the grunge era. Them and Nirvana.
Yeah, but the grunge was around for 5 years. Like it was a flash
True.
in the
And so
pan.
and
But it's not a flash in the pan. It was a foundation.
correct.
no,
That's like saying concrete's a flash in the pan.
no,
It's the
it wasn't. But so there was no good bands before Pearl Jam.
No, they built
Everything
other
that's come
foundations.
after
Well, I mean,
Pearl
like
Jam
There's
is
other
U2,
foundations.
REM. I mean, like, do you want to say the same thing about REM? REM was like one of those classic.
I'm not a big REM fan.
an alt-rock
I'm not a big
foundation.
REM fan.
Oh, you don't like REM? John Paul Jones Arena, REM, amazing.
I had no idea. I had a friend. I had a friend. I had a friend post about REM the other day. I didn't know they had so many albums.
Oh, tons.
No, they're
but
prolific.
but it's like they mix them. Like they drop like 3 songs. They'll put.
Did we do it? Al?
It's past deli time.
I was having so many drinks.
Okay.
We should have a deli. Do you have a deli?
I have delis. I just been lost in the shuffle.
We can get.
No, it's your hemorrhoid.
The only
It's so bad. It hurts so bad right now.
the only REM I know is the radio stuff, and I never liked most of it. I thought a lot of it was pretty
Brendan's
blah.
Brendan's an enigma because he went from I'm all in on Counting Crows to I'm all in on Pearl Jam. So that's a genre.
Brendan, see, the thing that drives me crazy
a
about
huge
Brendan is that
Oh, I love a close.
here's the deal.
I got you, Troy. What you got?
Brendan grew up during Pearl Jam's when it came out, so it's very influential in his life. I have certain bands that are the same way, but I don't say they're the greatest band that ever played music because I can understand it might not be someone else's cup of tea. Brendan does not care about that. Brendan force feeds everyone Pearl Jam to where they want to puke.
I understand that people don't think they're the greatest, and that's fine. You take it to an extreme to get my goat. Let's be honest. You shit on me because you love that I hate when you shit on me.
We like a lot of the same music though.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, Pearl Jam does not fall into that category.
Yes.
I can't change that. I literally
You've tried.
I took you on a road. No, I stopped. I stopped trying after I took you on a road trip, and I made you listen to Pearl Jam, and you literally said to me, "That one's okay." And it was Evolution by Pearl Jam, which is probably like their most hard rockin' song that deviates from everything. And you were like, "That's the only one I like." And I was like, "Boy, he only likes the one that doesn't sound like Pearl Jam."
I've told you, I like Hunger Strike, which is in Pearl Jam. I like the first minute of Daughter, and
Well, you would have liked the first minute of this set then.
and I like Yellow Ledbetter's not bad.
Nah, that's a good, but no one knows the words to that, which
Yeah.
is ironic because that's like the most difficult song to understand. You would have liked this festival though. Like I ended up. There was a guy named Eric Gale who came out. I walked in. It's like 12:30 in the afternoon. This guy's up there looking like Lenny Kravitz, but not lame.
Okay, not trying too hard.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Like if that makes sense. Like
I've never gotten him either.
yeah, no, I'm with you. And so this dude is just throwing down guitar riffs and screaming in a way that like captivated me. Like I walked in and I was walking by and I said, "Baby, we got to stop."
Yeah.
And like I walked straight in, like we just watched the dude as he just melted faces. And he's so new to the scene that he's like, "I'm going back there to the merch tent and I will sign and take pictures with every single person that gives a fuck." And those are the kind of people that like
Yeah.
it's so good to learn, you know, and he was nasty.
Dude, speaking of merch, I worked a concert a couple nights ago down at ODU, and there was this band called the Suicide Boys, and they're like,
With a Z?
no, $S suicide $, at the end of boys.
Nice. Bookended with dollars.
Yes. So, and they're kind of they're two white guys with bad
my-
tattoos.
Yeah,
Password.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
The bad tattooed white guys, the
Yeah.
suicide boys with dollar signs. Yeah, I'm not shocked.
And they had they had like 4 or 5 openers that were pretty wild of different genres and everything. But I tell you what, there was 5,000 people there, and it was 5,000 of the most loyal fans I'd ever seen. These guys have been around like
gotta love that,
7, 8
right?
years ago. I saw something I have never seen in any concert I've ever been in. The merch line for that place, from the minute the doors opened, the merch line went all the way down the inside of the building, snaked back all the way around 3 times.
No
It
way.
was hundreds of people deep the entire time selling $45 t-shirts.
How great is that?
Dude, I said, give me some of this merch money. And everyone I talked to at the band and everything, they're like, the band, this is where they make their money. Like
because
the
it's the merch. Yeah.
Bands these days don't make money on their music.
Well, there's no radio. There's no
Yeah.
radio money.
No, so
So-
there's-
Radio, no
But I always
play.
thought-
it's concerts and merch.
well, I knew merch was, I know merch is huge, but the venue too, the dollar signs from the tickets are big, but I have never seen a merch line like that in any show I've ever been to.
It says there are
So-
2 hip hop boys from New Orleans, started in 2014, and their genre is hip hop and horrorcore.
Yes.
Rap
That
metal.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So
They weren't that bad.
I know you aren't going to want to hear this, but when the night of Pearl Jam, they had a specific merch tent out in Gen Pop, and man, that thing was like that all day long. Like people just rolling. It was crazy.
Oh, I believe it because Pearl Jam fans are pretty loyal to their.
it was wild. Like how many like Cubs hats. Like all of a sudden now Wrigley Field is associated with Pearl Jam.
So how many Pearl Jam fans were under
Another
20
reason
how many-
you like them.
How many people in that
And
merch,
another reason they suck.
How many people in that merch line were under 25? Under 25.
Honestly, it was like 18 to 65.
So it's us and our kids that we've made our kids, because when Pearl Jam
it was
came
all
out,
of it. No, Pearl Jam brought out a very eclectic.
Well,
crew.
you got to
but it's a
understand
festival,
too.
so there's all these other bands.
You should know this. You have young kids. Like, don't your kids wear ironically cool old T-shirts that they know? Like, I see kids wearing Vans or
Yep.
off the wall or like whatever, like Bones Brigade shirts. I'm like, you've never seen a skateboard in your life. What are you talking about? Like, it's just a cool logo from.
I see kids in Journey
Yeah.
shirts and shit, and I'm
I
like,
do have
you
to
don't
say-
know
Pink
fucking-
Floyd.
and Ray,
Journey. Oh, yeah.
Ray can probably attest to this. I would say the one brand that truly has stood the test of fucking
He's either going
time,
to say Converse or Vans.
Chuck Taylor's.
That's right, because those are the only two.
And
that
my girls
continue
are
on.
like, And it's a great little backstory as to how they got the Chuck Taylor underneath the Converse.
And I definitely rocked some Converse.
Thrasher was what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
Like,
so
Thrasher,
that's the
everybody's
new
on
thing.
it.
Those Chuck Taylors and my girl,
saw more
both of my
Thrasher
girls
shirts.
want high. They want the elevated
Platform.
one, the
The
platform.
Mine does. My girl's like, no, Dad, I don't want the thick fucking sole. I want
Yeah.
just the regular.
Chuck
That's
Taylors are
platforms.
fucking
Chuck
awful
Taylor's,
shoes.
but it's a fashion statement.
Yes.
Well, they're slippers. They're not
Yeah.
shoes. They're slippers. You know, like legally, they are slippers. They're not shoes. So you ever notice if you turn over a pair of Chuck Taylors that there's felt in between the actual like traction on them? You ever
I've never noticed that.
So turn them over and you will see that there's felt in between them. And that's strictly because the tariffs on importing sneakers is so much higher than importing slippers. And
Then
so
they just rip that off.
Chuck Taylor started putting felt in between the actual traction.
So you
And
can
so
get
that they're technically slippers.
Yeah, but that comes off at the.
No, you wear them down and then eventually it comes off. It doesn't come off. Get a pair of Chuck Taylors, turn them over.
I don't know if I have a pair of Converse, but now that I say that, I don't know if they're Chuck Taylors.
I don't know if there's a difference, but
They
I'm
look
saying-
like what I consider a Chuck Taylor, but
Yeah.
they might not be the Chuck
Turn 'em
Taylor
over.
brand.
Turn them over.
Yeah.
It'll be hilarious. You'll see felt in between the actual.
So
like,
Chuck
rubber.
Taylor was an NBA guy, and they were willing. They wanted to sign somebody, and he was the first one to do it. This is like in the '60s or even earlier. I can't remember the exact story. I read it, but the guy was like, "They're like, you're crazy," and he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And he was the first one to wear them. They put his name
Boom.
there.
Lock it up.
day.
Hey, we
Yeah,
didn't
so we've been
announce it
drinking
yet.
beer.
We are in the middle of a deli. We should at least discuss it. It tastes like allspice and bourbon. Oh wait, no, it's this one. And the only reason I chose this is because I met a guy at the Grail House, which if you're ever in Louisville, Kentucky, might I recommend the Grail House for brunch? That was probably one of the best brunches
Food
I've
highlight?
ever had. I actually sent you, Troy, a picture of sausage gravy on a biscuit.
Yes, you did.
Because you're not a fan of gravy.
Because I said I'm not a gravy guy.
And I was like, holy shit, this is so good. Because
I love some gravy.
I had Pearl Jam and gravy on the same day. If Troy's hell, my heaven. I couldn't have been happier. But so we started the day. I was passing out the night before, and I sent my wife a list. There's the 15 best places to get brunch in Louisville. I sent it and passed out. Wiped some shit on my O-ring and called it a night. and
so romantic.
and she woke up the next day. I was like, "You checked your email yet?" She was like, "What?" I was like, "Check your text message." She like looks at it and she's like, "Good, I got 30 more minutes." Like, sleep. Like she's like scrolling through it. She's like, "We're going to the Grail House," and it's like this little house downtown Louisville, and they've got a beer garden around back with like stained glass and all of the stairways and all of the bars and everything's done in like bourbon staves. It's just gorgeous place, and they make dope ass food. I know it was dope because when I got there, they were like a 45-minute wait. By the time I got in, they were like it's an hour and a half wait.
Holy
Like,
shit.
people were just lined up in the streets and they're just pouring drinks. They had a gin gimlet
Ooh,
Let me
to
tell you
die
what.
for.
Oh, yes.
to die for.
In the
And Troy
morning,
would
a
have loved
gimlet.
it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Gin
and it's-
gimlet in the morning is so
Don't know what a gimlet
It was
is.
called Ian's Gimlet. It was to die for. They
It
had
probably had like Chambourg in it, some sort of raspberry flavoring.
So
and, oh,
freaking good.
God, it's very
And then they had a Bloody Mary that was done with ghost pepper spices. No, but it was so light that it was just spicy and not like
Yeah.
a problem. And it was tomato juice and beet juice. So it was like purple instead of red.
fucking beet juice.
Dude, it was the most refreshing thing I've ever had in my life. It was so good.
Cucumbers.
But this place, yes, it was like cucumbers. Thank you.
Brendan's like literally shocking his body into like fucking.
No wonder you blew out an O.
I mean, he's
ghost
like-
peppers
Yes.
and beet juice.
Oh, no, I get the problem.
He's like,
wake up!
I know you've been drinking hard liquors for 24 hours. Let's bombard my guts with vegetables and healthy stuff again.
Oh, I'm glad you were talking and reminding me why I was even talking about that place. I met this guy. He was a brewer from Nashville. And he was saying the same thing that An said. He was saying that the easiest beer to cover up all of your problems is an IPA. Because he's like,
Yep.
once I develop a problem, I just add more hops.
Yeah.
And then it just goes away. And I was like, yeah,
And
that's right.
I think On said it was quick too.
It's super quick.
It's not
Easy.
like the other beers that take long time.
So he was saying the hardest thing in the true like representation of a brewery is a Pilsner or a Kolsch or something where you can really taste a problem.
Yeah.
If I screw up something in the beer,
Which
you're gonna
again is
know.
why we say like the big breweries that do the mass production stuff is pretty damn amazing that they can churn out the same exact.
That's why you need money.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. But so tonight, that's why I chose the Schlafly Kolsch, because this will show imperfections. A Kolsch beer is not an easy beer to produce, but it's also it's a difficult beer to
St.
make
Louis.
good. Yeah, I love Schlafly. I think every beer they make is actually pretty good. I've been a big fan of them for a while now. They actually have one of the best pumpkin beers you can get your hands on. So if you do find the Schlafly pumpkin, I know that's a only one person's opinion, but I think it's fantastic. But so I was like, when I saw the Schlafly Kolsch in the store, I was like, oh, I'd like to try that, because I was thinking about that guy at Grail House who was talking about how hard these are to make good.
Can you tell how ugly that can is?
I don't know how ugly it is, but it looks
All of this is like a yellowish,
And I assume
greeny
there's
yellow,
green,
and then this
right?
is this all this and this is the same color green.
so it's just not really dynamic.
No.
But it's about the beer,
Yes.
But
except for Stu.
I
And it just says Kolsch in big block letters across it.
just
It
to
looks like a beer that would be in a movie.
follow up real
Yeah,
quick.
like a generic, like government
Right.
issue.
Like, hand me your, I want that Kolsch. All
I'll
right.
take the government beer.
Yeah.
But the hardest beer to brew is actually the NAs,
Oh, is it?
because they have to brew it, make it with the alcohol, then they have to put it back through the whole thing, boil off the alcohol.
And not fuck it up.
Right.
Good luck.
So
Well, I think a lot of these aren't
We gotta
even
slow cook
brewed.
it.
These aren't like this isn't a this is a it says the Bud Zero says full flavor zero alcoholic brew. It's not beer. It's a malt beverage.
It's malt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is easier than doing it.
yeah.
But then they have to make it taste like beer, which
Yeah.
is also a challenge. But
Which
the
is where the
Schlafly-
carbs come in.
The Schlafly Kolsch is what I wanted to try tonight. Something that's a little more easy drinking. I expect Schlafly to do a good job.
4.8.
Yeah. It should be a sessionable.
Yeah, 4.8.
So Kolsch is one of my favorites. I like a Kolsch, Hefeweizen, Dunkel,
Okay.
things like that. So
So you're already kind of partial.
right, so I'm already partial. However, this Kolsch is not very good.
He was partial
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
he put it in his mouth.
There is not a lot to this beer. I don't, and I know that we've been drinking bourbon and we had some other stuff and whatever, but this is, it's bland to me.
It is fairly bland.
Yeah.
It's bland.
Not
And
a lot jumps out.
so for me, I think this is a 2. Again, I'm not going to turn this down if somebody gave it to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Because
drink it.
that's actually the beauty of a Kolsch, is that it's just easy drinking.
It's very,
Yeah.
very easy drinking. At 4.8, but is it something I'm going to want to go after, going to have all the time? No. So it's a 2.
So I'm going to give the counterpoint, but not much of a counterpoint. I like this beer because it's got a good bubbliness to it, which I like in a Kolsch, right? I want a beer. I want to feel it, effervescent. It's got that. It's got a little of that metallic Heineken hop. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like a
On the back end,
that
yeah.
European kind of hop that's just more understated. So I dig it. That's good. But you're right. There's not enough going on to really bring it out. I'm not going to hate on it. I'm going to give it a 3 because it is so easy drinking. But that's about all I can give it, is a 3, because there's really nothing to it. It's got that metallic hop. There's literally no malt. The flavor profile is basic bitch. If you told me it was a Stella, though, I'd be like, there's something off,
Right.
but it's in the ballpark.
It is in the ballpark. I would agree with
Which
that.
is not, which Stella's a Pilsner.
Right. That's what I thought. This tastes more like a Pilsner than it does a Kolsch. Kolsch should have this film that leaves.
Should have something else.
Right.
And that's where it's missing. So I'm going to give it a 3 because of its drinkability. I'd give it a 2 as a Kolsch,
Okay.
but I'm going to go 3. So you're at 2.
I'm a 2.
So we're a 2 and a 3. Which one of these? I'm going to say Troy because his phone is disrupting the board.
I can't
So I'm going to make Troy talk.
I can't argue either of you. I feel like
2.5.
no, I'm not. I'm definitely not going 2.5. I had a number before race started, but then I was like kind of agreeing, like maybe I should skew lower. But I'm gonna skew back to where I was at 3 because yes, it's missing a lot of the good stuff, but it's not bad in any major way. So to me, it's an above average drinking beer. But like
As a drinking beer.
like you both said, you're not going to be like blown away by the flavors that are going on in this thing. Like it's just meh.
Yeah,
but it's not. It's
It
also
either needs to be more flavorful or more dry.
yeah.
But right where it sits is not right.
But I'll say 3.
So this reminds me of CVS's version of the Big River beer, which was horrible, tasted like metal, and I'm going to give this a 1.
Oh wow! Oh 1.
Shit. Mic drop.
Take it down, bitches. We're not drinking that shit. Okay.
There's nothing redeeming about the label. There's nothing redeeming about the flavor. It has bubbles. I can't get a back end flavor. I can't get a front end flavor.
You know what's beauty about that? What you just described it as? And we were joking like government beer.
Yes.
That is government
It's
beer.
government.
Yeah.
It's like this is the government cheese of
Yeah.
beer.
I've had
That is it. That's
I've
the
had
one.
grade D meat in the Navy.
Yeah.
This is grade.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I understand your one. If you're
and
coming
it's-
from that angle,
and
that
it's
makes perfect
funny because, like we said, it looks like it.
It looks
What-
just
yeah.
like it, and it kind of tastes like it. Like
Yeah.
that's a basic bitch beer,
So even with our 3s, it's still a very underperforming beer.
which is exactly how it should have netted
Yeah.
out.
And
I'm
we-
not mad at that.
And we should say, don't buy this beer.
No, don't buy that beer because that beer is priced
Yes.
in a level that you could go out and get a Busch and be like, that's not a Kolsch either.
Yeah.
Wait, how much was this?
I don't know because I did something tonight that was brilliant to me. I knew we were doing a double. I did a mixed 6-pack.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm going to get 3. Because you know what I'm sick of? Throwing out beers.
Bad beers too.
Yeah, because the problem is
Yeah.
we do this every week, and I buy a 6-pack, and we drink 3 beers.
Yeah.
But there are a
then 3
couple beers that,
sit.
I mean, you have guests that might like
Well,
beers.
until his cooler crapped out, there was a cooler in the corner that kept a ton of the leftover.
But they kept all the bad
But
beers
it
that
would,
never
just, it
got
would
touched.
just pile up,
Right.
dude. It was
Yeah, but somebody can come here and drink that, I'm sure.
You'd be
got
surprised how many people
Yeah.
don't drink the
And
bad beers.
What about the guy with the mayo fetish? Who's the mayo?
the Duke.
the Duke.
The Duke is
only drink-
actually. You know what's funny?
Even the Duke has standards.
But the funny thing about
Now
that,
we have a new challenge.
no, the Duke does come in here more often than not and go, I want to try that deli.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do get rid of 1.
Okay.
But then I'm still stuck with 2. And those 2 will sit. And
Yeah.
they would just I'm gonna start I'm finding
like
these
this
places
idea.
that tell
Yeah.
singles and I can get 2 delis out of $12.99. And
Yeah.
it's a better deal for everybody.
For sure.
Well, yeah.
Right. Well, especially since you're
Well, and I expect that those beers, I mean, that's a microbrew. I'm sure it's not cheap. So, like, you're
Yeah, it's
paying
probably $12.99.
You're paying
No,
premium prices
I was walking
for
around
shit.
the room and it was $10.99 to $11.99 for everything. And I was like, $12.99 and I can split it.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
Good call.
Nice.
Big fan. Well, I'm a big money saver,
Yeah.
especially after this last
Maybe
weekend.
I'll start doing that next time I buy a deli. I'll just get 2. And,
Get 2 delis.
Yeah.
Knock it out.
Yeah.
Because ever since I started putting down that RFID thing at the damn festival,
Money's no problem.
dude, I'm serious. I came back. That festival was like Disney World.
Oh, I'm sure.
I spent a.
So was it $20 to $25 a drink?
Do I want to know how much you spent
No, it's
on the
about
whole
10
festival?
It was about
or will I
$10 a drink.
projectile vomit everywhere?
You would projectile vomit. I mean, I can tell you this:
As cheap as I am, like,
for VIP tickets, it was $700 a ticket. Now that's 4 days, and keep in mind, I'm literally on the stage.
yeah.
Like that was worth it. I will never regret that money I spent.
Yes.
That was the right.
It's everything after that.
That was the right move. The hotel,
300 a night? More? Oh my gosh.
for a Crown Plaza.
Did you not use points?
Dude, I don't have IHG points.
You don't. Oh, you don't.
It's IHG. That's a Holiday Inn.
It's a Holiday Inn points.
I have
is-
IHG points because I work for government.
Yeah, no, but that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Are you a Hilton or a Marriott guy?
Literally both.
Okay.
I have got dope at both. I'm good. But I only move between Hilton and Marriott.
That's the only thing I do.
Yeah, those are the two all the time. And if you're looking for the better hotels, you should go Marriott. But if you're looking for the interesting shit, the Hilton. The Hilton's
Yeah,
gonna,
diamond titanium is where I am.
yeah,
Both. So
that's where you want to go. Because
Dude, I stayed at
and the Hilton gives you better upgrades. Like they're going to be like, oh, I see that you had a double queen room, but I noticed nobody was in the president's room. Do you know that?
might as well take it. So
Yeah.
I'm going to November the 5th. I stay at the Hilton Roanoke or the Hotel Roanoke, owned by Virginia Tech and Hilton. They're sending me to the Tech game.
See, because they take care of, like, seriously, it's like Vegas casinos.
Yeah.
These things compete with people, but it's Hilton and Marriott. If you want to dance,
Yeah.
those are the two that dance. IHG is like, there were no options.
Dude, I stayed at one of the worst hotels of my life. Was at IHG in Salem. It was called like True or something. It had some weird name.
True's the best one they have.
Well, maybe
True,
it wasn't
it's
True.
a Hilton.
It was. I've been in dorm rooms that were bigger and had more amenities.
However, the true that's the true like catch, right? Like smaller rooms,
Yeah, but
very
dope.
minimalistic. But
Dope.
oh man,
you go down there and get an
you're gonna-
old fashioned, it's going to be fucking spot on.
and play pool.
Yeah,
Well, but
you got all that shit.
Right.
They
So
got all that
with
shit.
Marriott, the one that I think has the most fun, and it's their brand,
Avid was the one I
Is-
stayed at.
Okay,
and it's
I don't
very
know if I know
unique,
Avid.
and they're starting to go everywhere, is Moxie Hotel.
So the Moxie
Oh, the
Hotel,
Moxies are cool.
there's a Moxie right across the street, downtown Richmond.
They just
at-
built it.
What is it? The Hotel Green. That's where you play.
Yeah, it's a mini golf inside.
right. So they have a Moxie that's right there. It's supposed to
It's
be
fun. And
amazing.
the Moxie in Nashville behind Kid Rock's bar, great. There's another Moxie, like they're stripped down, industrial like feel, but it's
The Avid I stayed in didn't have a closet. It had hooks on the wall. I mean, it was.
But they make it look cool.
Yes,
right?
it was
That's
brand
the-
new.
that's the
Like
beauty of
everything
it.
was like
Right.
contemporary looking.
Yeah.
But it had a dope king bed and a massive TV on the wall. But
Yeah.
it didn't have like a fridge. It didn't have a microwave. It didn't
But
have
that's the
anything.
That's so like this place is Crown Plaza. They had no fridge, but I had the Yeti cooler.
So you had 3 fridges.
Which no, there was nothing.
No, the Yeti is equal to 3 fridges.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, which was a really cool idea on the way up, because I was easily able to get a dolly and like I slapped it on and I dragged all the shit up. But on fucking
Checking out.
But on Monday morning, when every asshole had to leave, I had to carry a Yeti cooler
Full.
full all the way down the stairs. And I refused. Like I was like, no, we're putting ice in it. My wife's like, that's crazy talking. I'm like, no,
Yeah. Free ice. You're going to fill it up.
I'm gonna fill it up. So like, I filled it with. I didn't want my hummus to go bad.
Yeah.
So like,
some carrots.
I carried that bitch down, and like people are like, that's a well-traveled cooler, and I'm like, shut up. I'm just so hungover. Like I just want to go, and then did a 9.5. Oh, you know what I did? I took your advice. You said you got really good gas mileage with the rental car,
Yes.
so I picked up a Nissan Altima,
Oh, nice.
dude. I put it on, like I checked my gas mileage, like I reset that bitch.
Yeah.
I got 41 miles to the gallon. The
Dude,
whole
that's
way there and
huge.
back. I got from Louisville, Kentucky to Richmond, Virginia on a $50 tank of gas.
That's amazing.
That's that's not
Is that
an
like
easy
64? Like almost like 64?
ride. Yeah, up every mountain.
Oh, yeah.
Coming through West Virginia. I went up and down every mountain, and I set it on like the little setting on the screen.
The
where I could
eco?
see how how much gas I was burning. And that really changes your mentality.
Oh, yeah.
On a road trip, like around town, I would never want to do that, but like looking at it, I'm like, as soon as I would come down a hill,
Well, when you're putting up big miles on a big trip, like in gas,
makes a
is
difference.
over $3 a gallon.
Your
it's-
foot's a feather.
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't need to accelerate. I'd like get around a truck, and I'd be like, only if I have like a mile to do it.
yeah.
As we like slowly go around that truck. But I ended up filling up literally twice. I know I had to top it off when I got back here,
Yeah.
but I filled up. I like went there and filled up once when I got there and came back, and then I had to top it off. And I was like, that's a fucking dope ride.
Yeah.
So you did a rental to go there and back.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
Because my wife's got a fucking Durango
Oh, you don't want
with
that.
the Hemi, and then she hates my car, so it's bitch the whole time. Like, your car's.
If you're going to do a couple thousand miles, I'd say get a rental car. Like, because you just know, like, if your car breaks down, it's your problem. If the rental car breaks down, bang, they're taking care of it. And I mean, there's no need to put a couple thousand miles on your car.
No.
In a week.
Yep.
You know,
That's
like
the thing. I'm gonna put a couple thousand miles on the car. So
Yeah.
we're close to an oil change. I'm gonna fuck up your brakes because I'm coming up and down mountains.
yeah.
I was like, nah, I'm good. I spent $130 on that car.
Yeah.
Like, it was nothing. And then I put in $100 of gas.
So is it okay if I tell a quick story about a road trip that just happened?
No.
Okay.
No, go ahead. What? I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Well, you guys are talking about hotels and prices and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we're solving first world problems.
Yeah,
That's
so-
literally the point of this podcast.
First world problem. So, not a lot of people knew, but my mom went to Marshall University, and bring it back to a little bit of the sports podcast. She also
Well,
grew
we
up
are
as
the best.
she grew up as a Notre Dame fan, but went to Marshall University. And as a bucket list item for her, we took her to the Notre Dame Marshall University game.
Who won that game?
So Notre Dame's first home game, and we go out there and we decide, look, we're gonna fly in and we're gonna stay in Notre Dame for one night. Fairfield Inn, usually $149, $1,000 for the one night.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
Right there in
Oh, this
and
trust me,
there's
this Crown
nothing-
Plaza was not worth the money I paid for it.
Yeah.
But I was
there
like,
in
so
South-
be it.
And there's nothing in South Bend in like 50 miles in either direction, but it's all 100 miles, not even from downtown Chicago. But App State, big Michigan, 15 years ago, we went there. My mom, her college roommate, they were expecting the same thing. Notre Dame, 60-10. I was like, this is fucking amazing. I just happened to watch one of the most underranked teams beat a Notre Dame team.
And I drove right past Marshall on this road trip.
And my hotel ticket was more than the tickets to the fucking game.
I thought about you and your mom. I drove past Marshall and I was
Did you-
like,
yeah, in Huntington? Yeah.
They whooped that ass.
I wasn't even expecting that, but yeah, that was and now I know why Notre Dame only survives off of football. There's nothing in South Bend in 50 miles either way, and they $1,000 a night.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Why would they not charge us $1,000 a night? We live in a
It
capitalist
was Marshall.
society.
It wasn't even a big game.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Notre Dame people
if
are
it's
coming in.
if it's a football game, doesn't matter.
Yep.
Especially
ECU.
if they think it's a homecoming game. They think they're
So-
going to win.
I've seen tickets to East Carolina University football. So ECU's playing Navy. Hotels are out of
Go Navy.
like hotels are out of control
That's right.
in Greenville, North Carolina.
Stu's an
Every home game there is, hotels
yeah.
go out to, it's crazy.
So now I've heard Stu root for LSU,
Oh, yeah.
Notre Dame,
No,
Marshall.
No,
You went to Notre Dame last year and wore a bunch of Notre Dame gear.
Hold on.
it
Troy,
was freezing cold. I had
can
to
we
keep my ears
establish
warm.
making fun of him for all of his teams instead of my states?
Well, you're the gold standard
But can we say Stu is the gold standard?
of college football, obviously.
Fine, I'll take whatever I can get.
I can back
Take
up.
whatever I can get.
I can back up my teams. Not that I just drove through it like you did. And I've lived there.
I've never claimed that anything. I've never lived anywhere less than 4 years that I've claimed.
True.
That's the fact.
Okay.
And I think 4 years is a healthy stint, whereas your time at Notre Dame is non-existent.
He did do 4 years
There
with
is
the Navy.
nothing there is nothing in South Bend. Like when you drive through there, it is empty farmland.
Yeah.
But there's Jesus.
There is Jesus.
So fucking let that be known.
Yep.
But then again,
And Rudy.
I did enjoy.
That's right.
I did enjoy the Chicago deep dish pizza.
Now we're
Where we
dancing.
were staying. That
Now
was,
we're
that was
dancing.
good stuff. But
Now we're talking.
I do see that you are almost in need of a new bottle of Malort.
Oh, you are so wrong.
He's got a ton of Malort.
Oh, you do have a bunch of Malort?
it's just
No
not
idea
hanging-
how much Malort.
It's
How
just
much
not
do you
hanging
have?
upside down.
Do you need some Malort right now?
Yeah, so we're gonna do a podcast from Malort. That's part of our. That's one of our. I've been following Jepson Malort, and so we've been doing. So we want to see if we can make the drinks.
There's now
I have a guy.
flavors of Malort.
So is this a? So do you think you can take Malort and add?
No
the
one's ever made a
ingredients
Malort,
and add the
drink.
ingredients to make it taste good?
I think I don't know. We're gonna have to like do some trial and error, but that's the fun.
Yeah.
That's
Now, knowing that's never coming back, I gave you a half bottle, but I want you to look in there. There's probably like 4 or 5 bottles of Malort.
and you
at
have
the
different
bottom.
flavors, right?
Oh, I got the hopped up ones. But here's what I can tell you. Every time they add a different ingredient to it, it's worse.
Yes.
Literally. That's yours.
Don't do it.
Really?
Don't
That's
do
yours.
it. Don't do it.
Oh yeah, no, put it.
I've tried it. I mean, it tastes like an
Put-
old shoe.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Put it in
Sorry.
your mouth. Let's get a new flavor. Let's get a new flavor profile.
There is no. I don't want to. No.
You don't have to, but that's yours.
let's
if you're
rate
gonna
it-
put it on
Really?
the podcast, it's
I
yours.
am. We're gonna put it on the podcast.
That's yours. That's yours.
Let's rate it 1 through 5.
I didn't give you a fresh bottle because
That's okay. You've let it like the neck pour is the worst part.
yes, no, because I don't think that you'll end up drinking a full bottle of Malort.
Maybe.
But I would gladly send you home with
Jepson has the best TikTok. Have you seen their TikTok?
dude. Don't front on Jepson's.
Oh,
their
my God.
Their
They're
social
so-
media game is fantastic.
It is so good.
because
It is
they
so good.
recognize that they're fucking the
It's
limp.
terrible.
They're the limp dick of porn.
Oh,
Well, they have to do everything else better than their drink.
Dude, there's
Their
no
liquor,
good drink.
They have to make
There's no
everything
good
else.
drink.
Everything else
If you
included.
do an episode of strictly Malort drinks,
yep.
can I come on that episode?
Absolutely.
Fired up.
Yep. We're gonna do it. I think that.
And if I need to bring more Malort to make that happen, I will do so.
Yeah. So we'll try. So what
So
we
I
do?
literally buy that by 6 packs, and I get it shipped out of a place called Liquor Barn in Chicago.
So they ship it right here.
Yeah.
Okay. So I could like.
No,
call-
they ship it to Nova.
Well, they ship it to me.
Oh, they
now.
do? I thought
No,
you-
ever since the pandemic. Like all of a sudden, no, I used to have it shipped to DC.
Yeah.
Remember
Right.
that?
So that was the old rules. Now they ship a lot of. There's a lot of companies that will actually ship right
Interesting.
to VA.
But
now.
so the only place that feels like the gray area and the rule is kosher is this place called Liquor Barn.
yeah.
And
They
they're-
sound like they live in the shadows.
I always
It's
throw
okay.
in like a bottle of like Blanton's or something, like
Yeah.
something like that's like hard to find. Well, you're a Blanton's guy.
Yeah.
So like I'll throw in like a Blanton's and then be like, and 6 bottles of Malort.
What the fuck is this guy doing?
I think they have to renew that. I think it's 2024. At the end of 2024 is when that's a pandemic thing. Like,
Well, right
the
now,
beer
the
delivery
Malort's plentiful.
from. So,
It's going to take Ray the whole
luck.
half a bottle to try to turn
Well, no,
that
and
into
that's why I'm
something
saying
good.
if it
We'll figure it
requires
out.
more, I can bring more. But I'm giving you that because I want to be on that episode.
So we'll do like an old fashioned. We'll do a
Ew.
sour.
is this a
Don't.
6?
Oh no, we're gonna do them all. We're gonna do a bunch.
Are you gonna do the 6 drinks?
Oh, we'll do 6
this?
drinks with that.
Yeah.
Is that enough to do 6 drinks?
Sure. I need 2 ounces of drink.
That shit tastes like fuck. You know that, right?
Yes, I do. I remember my very first podcast with you guys like 3 or 4 years ago. You made me take a shot and it was bad.
Not good.
It's still
Not
bad.
good. Like an old shoe. Somebody
Yeah.
had pissed in it. It was bad.
It's very corpsey.
Yes.
If that's not an adjective, it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corpse.
Corpsey.
Death.
I think that should
For
be
sure.
yes. That's the slogan for Spirit of Halloween. Corpse.
Corpsey.
You know what? That's actually his liquor.
right. Corpsey. Right.
Well done. Well done. Well, fuck that.
You know, we didn't talk about Spirit very much, but please come and shop and enjoy and have all the fun. And
agree.
donate.
And donate.
Spirit of Children.
I was about to say, and don't forget that Spirit of Children is a fantastic charity that will work in your hometown, wherever your Spirit Halloween is, wherever it happens to be you're going. It's going to support your local children's hospital, and there's something to be said for that. Again, if you're going to go on Amazon and buy a mask, you could do a lot better by going into your local Spirit Halloween, which is not only helping keep that piece
And
of real
if you
estate,
drop Ray in the coupon code,
you get literally nothing.
right. Nothing. However, give us $1. Give us $2.
It's not a bad idea. And if you go to Amazon, it's not going to work in your favor like that. So please do go into your local Spirit Halloween. See what looks right, feel what looks right, and then also take the opportunity to help your local charities. You can't do that.
It's that easy.
It's literally that easy.
It
Just
is.
walk in. And the animatronics alone are worth the visit.
Yep.
And if you
And-
want to
And
buy
worth
one,
the tip.
Buy one. And October 1, the Spirit movie.
I was
That's
about
right.
to say, download
Can't
that.
wait.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Watch
Yeah,
it.
Netflix. See us on Netflix.
if you're listening to this, you're 3 days away from October 1.
there you go.
It's going to be super good. Liam Neeson's in it. Now, who was in it? I can't remember who was in it.
Christopher Lloyd.
There it
Christopher
is.
Lloyd.
Yeah.
Liam
Michael J.
Neeson.
Fox is in it.
right. Christopher
like-
Lloyd.
Michael
Super
J.
awesome.
Fox's friend is in it.
That's the one. That's what I'm talking about. Michael J. Fox is the shaky hand.
Oh God.
In the wait, what?
Too soon.
I have more old fashions for you. Let's close it up.
There's so many old fashioned. This one right here with the allspice is fucking phenomenal. I literally, my hemorrhoids at a 5.
Right.
Nice.
And coming in, it was at a 9, which is good.
It's medicinal. You have to keep drinking.
Medicinal old fashioned.
I wonder why you keep rubbing it back there.
Yeah.
Dude, I wouldn't rub it if you paid me. You don't understand. There's not enough witch hazel in there at the moment.
His drinking nerves connected to the butt nerve.
Wow.
It's a nightmare in my anus. Speaking of Spirit Halloween.
Nightmare in my anus. Yeah. That's next year's movie.
That should be the name of this
On
podcast.
Pornhub. How Spirit of Halloween Pornhub.
This year I'm going as a blown out O-ring
Nice.
for Halloween. Jesus. I thought it would be hard to make the costume, but then God showed up.
Yeah.
Wow. I just have to walk up to every house backwards. Thank you guys so
it'll
much
be
for
scary.
tuning in. If you haven't had a chance to head over to your local Spirit Halloween, please do so. They have the best selection of masks and costumes and everything else you're going to need for Halloween. And you can also do a favor for your local community. If you haven't had a chance to head over to Negger Sunglasses, please do so. Drop Abacus in the coupon code. You'll get 20% off. And if you haven't bought a mortgage yet or gotten a mortgage yet, I can tell you who can make it easy. It's Screen Door Mortgage. Jimmy will take care of you. And if you need a real estate agent,
Give me a call. First class agents, Premier Homes.
if you didn't know, that was Stu. Do you have like a email?
Yeah, I do.
You're not putting it out here? All right, just write us at insidethepallethouse@gmail.com.
There we go.
And we'll send your referral on to Stu.
Thank you
That's
guys for
also-
having me.
Dude, Ray, every time, man. We love having you here.
Always welcome.
It is a blast. Thank you so much. If you haven't had a chance to head over to our Facebook page, please do so. You can always find us on Instagram and Twitter at ITPH Podcast. More importantly, we have a Venmo page.
At Inside the Pallet House.
That's the one. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week. Cheers.
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 Peace out.
That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?